Hey there everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope the day's going well for you. And good day here in my world. Well, pretty good day here in my world. I'm adulting today. I'm having to do some adult type stuff. As soon as I shoot this video, I got to go down and take care of some insurance type things. These are all, I'm doing things like this past year that are like, I know it for a guy that's almost 55. People look at me like, you don't know this stuff? And I'm like, dude, I never grew up. I never owned a house. I never did all these adult type things. I always just kind of found them a little tedious and boring. But do what you got to do. Today I want to talk about the raw vegan lifestyle, whole food plant-based diet for arthritis. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you go down there and hit that big red subscribe button. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. The reason this video is titled the way it is because it's just kind of my belief system on this stuff and healing in general. Now, once again, this is my belief system. This is not how to. This is not, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling anybody else. I'm not even necessarily recommending it for anybody else. I'm just saying, I'm always sharing what I think and what works for me and what I would do in certain circumstances. So that's why I wanted to mention the raw vegan lifestyle as well as plant-based diet. I was looking around. I've come up with subjects a lot of times for these videos just based on reading something I just stumble across or an idea that pops in my head, and I start reading it or watching something on it to refresh my memory and my take on things. And I don't know, I forgot why I even got started looking at it. It related to arthritis, but I just kind of wanted to look up, but maybe I was trying to answer a question or something, I don't know. But anyhow, so I'm looking around a little bit earlier, and I'm doing some searches on Google, and I'm reading a few things here and there, and just the sheer ignorance, I mean, of statements out there. I'm telling you, I'm kind of an in-between person. I'm not into the conspiracies, and I don't like to be big on extreme statements and whatever. I don't think like every doctor in the U.S. and everybody that practices U.S. medicine is out to mislead people. In fact, I have come across, talked to conventional doctors that, yes, they don't believe quite like we do, but they still advise. They're almost kind of like, well, the plant-based diet isn't going to hurt. They give watered down versions of it. But I'm reading stuff this morning that's just downright ignorant. I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor. I'm not Mr. Scientist. I can't sit and spit the knowledge about this stuff. But when I read people saying, yes, there's no proof whatsoever that diet has anything to do with arthritis, that just goes against my common sense. I don't have to read anything. I don't have to have any qualifications. I don't have to study a whole bunch of stuff to just go, no. That statement, that's just kind of like, no, that makes zero sense. But hey, there's a lot of MDs and there's a lot of people in Western medicine that just don't believe diet has anything to do with anything else, anything. And that just makes no sense whatsoever. I talk to people all the time, in this area and whatever, that they're never going to go vegan. They'll never come over, but they at least understand the thought process, the benefits of yeah, okay, it makes a lot of sense to do these things. But I just saw case after case after case after case, and not any kind of crazy testimonials. I kind of tend to, when people have these big testimonials that sound amazing, I kind of disregard those, even though I'm not saying they're not true. And the ones that are against it, I like kind of the middle. I kind of like that median result. And I kind of like people that, they're not saying, oh my God, I was hurting, and then the next day I felt, totally I was cured. And I don't like that word cured either, by the way. But the biggest thing I found, a lot of them, and this goes back to my philosophy, the biggest thing I found was people simply talking about a whole food, plant-based diet. T. Colin Campbell's name came up a lot in this. Caldwell Esselstyn's name came up a lot in this. Just simple whole food, plant-based nutrition, clean, salt, oil, and processed sugar-free, for the specifically for arthritis. And once you get it, listen, if you get into the rheumatoid and some of the ones that are more of an autoimmune, I know that even gets trickier. But one thing I found pretty much in agreement, even people that weren't plant-based, is like definitely stay away from the refined grains. But basically, yeah, the large amount of results I saw were just pretty much just fundamental plant-based, following that, Esselstyn, T. Colin Campbell. Forks over knives. Listen, it may not be raw, but forks over knives has probably saved more life than any other version of this lifestyle out there. And there's recipes. I just got one the other day because I want to kind of play with some of those recipes from some different angles. But I bought another one of those forks over knives recipe books. Wonderful stuff in there, good, tasty food. So most of the stuff I was reading wasn't, because there's not as much data out there on this raw food diet, on the raw vegan lifestyle. But so most of it just came from about the plant-based and about that clean version of the plant-based, because some people don't really get into that whole theory that food causes inflammation in the body. I'm sorry, that's a fact. That's not a fact that I know from a book or whatever. You can feel in your body when you're eating certain things that you're carrying more inflammation in your body. And when it comes to and arthritis, for sure. Even people that just marginally cleaned up their diet, they saw different results. People that just did a little bit may have seen a little bit of an easing on the pain, but people that kind of went all in, went plant-based, went a clean version of plant-based, got even better results. Now, the reason raw vegan lifestyle, the reason I even threw that in there whatsoever, because that's just kind of my MO right there. You guys, I just did the video yesterday, and I'm always talking about how I'm not an extremist on this raw is law or 100% raw food diet. Let me just reiterate again, the main reason I say that is because of numbers, practicality, what people are actually going to do. And I just know that if X amount of people hear about, a plant-based diet, only a small percentage are going to go vegetarian. Only a much smaller percentage of that are going to go vegan. Only a smaller percentage of that are going to eat a whole food plant-based diet version of being vegan. And then the most minute of people are going to be fully raw. I guess in between there are people that are high raw or different levels of raw, but it's going to be the tiniest subset of people that are, raw and fully raw. But the reason I bring up raw, and the reason I always like to make sure that I am clarifying and not giving mixed messages on this, is I'm a healthy person. It's not really fair. It's not really fair the way that I live, the way I drank for 30 years, the things I put in my body. It's not fair, but I'm a healthy person. Knock on wood, so far I haven't had any health issues, show up. I feel younger, healthier, better, less pain. I didn't really have pain back then either, but just no real aches and pains other than this phantom demon that's been in here for a while, and that's kind of, getting better. But I've not had anything major to deal with healing-wise on this. But if I did, and I'm answering questions all the time, and I hold back because I don't want to be judgmental, especially when somebody's dealing with something serious. But I've had this a number of times, and it's almost that awkward part of the conversation where somebody says, well, what would you do, or how can you help me, or can you do this or that? And I'm like, okay, this is what I would do. Well, no, I can't. I'm not going to go that far. Well, I'm like, I don't know. I can't conceive outside of myself. Because I'll tell you, I'm a big baby. If I feel any pain, if I had something serious I was dealing with that was causing me daily pain, or that was compromising my health in a major way, could possibly kill me, could keep me from living how I wanted to live, I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top, and I'm going to eat then I would be, even necessary, not necessary, whatever. I want the quickest and the most efficient healing possible. So I would be eating raw, and I would be eating a very clean version of the raw, and I would be eating a lot of, high water content fruits, but I would just mainly be eating the raw. Once again, I don't know. Like I say, a lot of the stuff, and that's why, I need a better brain. I wish I'd have come to this sooner. A lot of the, even what I consider pseudoscience-y stuff of explanations in the raw world still seems kind of like they're just kind of making it up. I get a lot more stuff that's like, okay, this is real, this is written by somebody, this is actual, you can take this to the bank from the plant-based. But know this, like I say, if tomorrow the wheels all come off, or if I find out I had something, or whatever I needed for a healing, I'm going straight to the top. No fooling around. But to wrap it up, and hey, share this one today, because so many people deal with arthritis, even if it's not that bad. I know a lot of people like in their 50s and 60s that it's not like crippling or debilitating pain, but it's just kind of this annoyance that they've come to deal with every day. And people can, people can get relief from this. There's just so many wonderful books out there. Read the simple stuff. You can always go deeper, but read the good stuff with really good information, like the China study, reversing and preventing heart disease, because all disease, so much of this disease comes from the same source. So when I reference preventing and reversing heart disease, that particular thought pattern, way he's talking about eating there, is for a number of things, preventing and reversing a lot of things. Read Dr. Greger, How Not to Die. Dr. Greger's got a lot of wonderful stuff on plant-based and arthritis. And for raw, Brenda Davis, always going to recommend her. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed this little quick one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.